Hey everyone, hope you're well. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. What's cracking? Okay, we are seriously trying to probe these lows. We've hit this like 7 times now. Tons of stops below 30s. Booga booga. I like it. Scalper, how's it going, dude? Tony boy, what's happening? How's your day been? You guys been taking any trades? Hoping you didn't really take any breakouts today, or I can probably tell you how your days went. Did you guys fade the extremes? Hey dude, how's it going? Rob? Hello Pablo. Hi, Wall Street Legend. Nice dude. See you're into gaming with the phase tag. Trader Boy, how's it going? Jengi? Nice of you all to join us. Rob, I have had a okay day calling the markets, dude, on the 10s. I think we took like 6 ticks out the 10 year today. Had to fight for every one of them, to be honest. But yeah, decent enough day, dude. Decent enough day. Can't complain. Can't complain. I think the max adverse excursion I had in a trade was like 2 ticks, so pretty good day. Managed risk well. Made me a little bit uncomfortable with Powell speaking today. I just don't really like it when he speaks, to be honest. It makes me a bit uneasy because the guy can say one sentence and basically, screw up a position. So I was just really focusing on managing the risk when I had an open position anyway. So yeah, how did Boone go for you in the morning? Nico, buddy boy, how's it going, dude? Kim, how is it, my friend? The Nasdaq was moving lovely. Yeah, so I think Nasdaq's had a bit of a correction today, right? Look at the amount of stops. Let's just draw this out. We've been discussing this pretty much all day, but this initial balance low level, everyone in their gran that has been buying here today, their ultimate stops are going to be down here. So I would be extremely surprised if we don't probe down here to gather the the liquidity pool as such. But let me know if you guys have traded today. Did you take any positions? What markets were you trading? And I'm hoping we're going to get a little bit of movement here, prior to the 10 to 4, 5 past 4 volume that comes in. Neil, hello buddy boy. How's it going, dude? I'm on my 5th coffee today. I was going to watch the France and Spain game, but we'll see how the market turns out. I'll definitely be watching the England game tomorrow, despite not being English, but I want to see how they do. Have you guys been watching the Euros at all? Shorted Boond. Oh yeah, so you did, Rob. So you did. Nice trade, and then I think you saw the curve essentially start to change, right? So then you basically flattened. Good observation, my friend. Good observation. Kim, you only trade a couple hours. Yeah, that's kind of the same as me, to be honest. I typically look to take positions, in Treasuries, I'll go from US time, normally from potentially, I would say, 7 a.m. US to probably lunchtime US. I don't really trade the PM session normally because I'm too tired. I find it very taxing to watch the DOM for hours at a time. So if I've not made my money by, probably by 5 6 p.m. my time, and I'm 5 hours ahead, I'm done for the day, typically. And then if I see anything that's glaringly obvious on ES when we run this stream, I'll maybe take it, but normally this is just there so we can hang out and discuss. Pablo, as you said, usually trade the 30-year or the Ultra. In your opinion, is what better for passing 50k? I would say that I would definitely say don't go with the Ultra, to be honest. That would be, the Ultra for me is an instrument that on a rare occasion I'll maybe take a position where it's lagging and you can maybe get a catch-up trade. But the bulk of my executions and treasuries is done on the 10s and the 30 years, so ZN and ZB. If you're just new to treasuries, my advice would be to start on the 10s. Just very simply, as you've got more margin for error. If you go get a couple of ticks offside, you can maybe get a scratch, for example, and you're not going to get caught. But the least liquid one is the Ultra, without a doubt. It depends how you're trading, dude. I'm talking about if you're trading on the ladders like you're seeing here. So NQ is going here. Let's see if we can. If NQ can continually crack the lows here, we'll maybe see if we can probe 30s. So note there's actually some size down here. This, as we discussed before, let me get the pen out actually. Pen. Epic pen. Let me get my pen that seems to be. You guys seem to enjoy the pen. So this cloud here and here is not real. This has been running since this is the second week, I think, of this cloud running, the algo cloud we're calling it. This is not real, it's just following price. Seems to be a summer one they've implemented, to be honest. Yeah, it's there every day. Becoming a friend, this cloud. We're sad to see it go. Will the heck. It's just annoying this because it's making while this has been printed, it's making the MBO data a bit naff in my opinion. This down here likely is some real size down here, and surprisingly it's at the lows. So what I'm expecting, I would be very, very surprised here if we do not go down and probe. We can see the delta is pretty flat right now, so nothing is really happening, so we're just bouncing around here with orders being pulled. But if I put my large trader hat on, if I was net short from say roughly up here, I'm probably exiting some of my positions here, but I'm definitely gonna have a crack at this level, because I can get out of some of my short positions down here, and then I can basically flip and work the bid here, and then get to drive it back to VWAP and point of control. That's what I would say. The least probable side is, again, if we do somehow get up to this level again, up here, then we'll be fading down. And if we do, the least probable is to extend the high and extend the low. Whatever shenanigans we do happen on a day where we have got a literal bell curve and balance, I mean, this is like textbook bell curve side of things. It's very unlikely we're going to go and sweep here and go all the way down here, right? But you never know. Considering there's not really any data that's going to come out and change the sentiment. 4 tested lows. Yeah, exactly, Trader Boy. Yeah, exactly, Neil. I was saying in group earlier that I thought we were going to crack here. Wow, that's a big blob. Um, so when we pushed down, I thought we were going to take it when we went down here, right? I thought we'd probably go down and head it that way, and then work our way back up and do this. Um, but we didn't. We can see there's some large size executed on the offer here, or an ask, like a market order buying here, which basically held the market up and drove it back to VWAP, and then we've just gradually worked our way down. The other thing I would say is the fact that this is a sort of gradual grind down, the grind of death, is a little bit concerning, because you can see every time we've hit the lows, so we hit the low, we then had a good reverse, we hit the low, we hit a good reverse, and every time we're now hitting this, we're sort of grinding that little bit closer to the lows, which is just something to bear in mind. It doesn't mean I wouldn't look to take a fade back up here, but it's just something to bear in mind. Exactly, Pablo. And the thing is about treasuries, mate, is you really, really get proficient at controlling risk. Seriously, it's the only market where you could be, 4 or 5 ticks off and you're really offside, for example. On a scalp, that is. So take your time. Hey, Jacko. The software is Sierra Charts. I think I have a link in the description to it. Maybe not. They don't have any. There's no. I don't have any affiliation to Sierra Chart or anything, but I use it. I've used it for so long now that it's hard to switch. It's like an accounting software. Once you use it for so long, it's hard to change on an EPOS system. Once it becomes part of your day-to-day business that you operate in, it's very hard to change, despite all the new flashy ones that come in the market. But Sierra Charts, I would also, if you're looking to get into the DOM trading, Jigsaw is good out the box for just starting. Sierra is good. I would say though that it is a learning curve. NQ is going. Let's see if ES can follow here. So watch NQ. We need NQ to continually hitting into the bid, which will take ES down, but it looks to be going. We need this level to crack. Some size here to notice, some size executed on the bid here. One big clip, but absorbed. If you remember yesterday when we saw this in the market where it gave it really, really obvious, do you remember when the market was down at the lows yesterday and then they had this huge order that came in and they hit it? It's almost like that was attempted here, but absorbed. So we'll see, because when the market does get down to this level here, they can throw some size and take it below this and do the little go down, instantly take the orders and snap back up. What do you mean, what's my favourite source of income, Neil? What do you mean by like a favourite? This view looks amazing compared to Tradeovate. Tradeovate DOM seems... I can't comment on Tradeovate, dude. I know that if you're looking to get into OrderFlow, my friend, you need to go to a more specialist platform. We definitely are probing this. If NQ can go down, this bid needs to go, as we continually say, so they're still absorbing here. See that? NQ's going, so let's see if we can crack. We need to crack 30s here. There's 270 on the bid. Still fighting here. So NQ needs to basically break here. Let's recenter. Very quick. Oh, I can't recenter. Well, highlight the cursor. TP, what should we be looking for at this? So ultimately price, when this does go, it's going to sweep pretty hard. It's going to go very quickly. And we need to see some size trade down here. In fact, I might actually just clear this. So down here, now we need to see first how these trade, because I think these are real orders. Ignore these are not real, these ones, okay? So this one potentially could be real, but we need to see how these trade down here when the market does get down. There is some size down here, so what we'd want to see is when it comes down, do they hit it aggressively, and what sort of happens down here? Do they do the instant snapback, you know, right back? Or it depends. We need to see, but the market is really pressing right now. The amount of negative delta that's coming in, and we're just about to approach a low of the day on delta as well here. Right, I would definitely say trading is to be honest, that's a good question. I don't really have a favorite. The way I look at it, Neil, is I trust myself and trust the process. So whether it be trading, whether it be any other, businesses that I have, I trust the process. I enjoy them, or I wouldn't be doing them. But I continually turn up every day and give it my all, and I enjoy them. And as a byproduct of enjoying them and doing well and having good people around you, you will succeed. That's the way I see it. But you have to be patient, man. Rome wasn't built in a day. Right, key level coming up. Let me quickly get this here. Okay, so really key level. Already got it drawn out at 29s actually. So right, so key level coming up here. The lows is down here, but right now this is the low of the whole day. This is the low of the actual session of regular trading hours. Hope that made sense, Neil. It's a bit of a word salad for it, but that's the way I view it, dude. I don't really have any particular favourite ways to make money, and I don't really look at it like that, For example, if I looked at it from YouTube side, if it was only for money, I wouldn't do it because I don't make any, for the amount of time and effort. But I do it because I enjoy building a community. It's great having everyone that we hang out every day. And trading, to be honest, I've done this for many years, and it's a lonely, boring game. And it's one of the only things, it's not like you can talk to people in your normal life about it because, it's pretty complicated. It's very sad here that we've just ticked this low session by a literal tick. Honestly. This is it's the variance, this, This is the variance in trading. And by variance I mean sometimes they do this, sometimes, they bang it right down. Do you know what I mean? They've really got no way of knowing. There is no indications. Look how negative the delta is as well. So actually, what's quite interesting is this market has moved all the way back up here with no buying, so the offer has just been pulled, which we can see 99 traded, 99, a little bit of size traded here, but then 79, 80, 10, 65, 39. So what that says to me is potentially they're looking to reload in the offer higher and sell into the bid to potentially drive it down a little bit more, because there was no buying there. So do you know what I mean? There's no positive delta to get price up there for that probably 10 tick move up, right? So trade bum, you trade on Trade but use Jigsaw for OrderFlow. Nice, yeah, that's quite a common setup. I mean, everyone that uses Jigsaw, they typically use another form of charting platform, because Jigsaw sucks for charting. To be honest with you, if I wasn't so ingrained into Sierra and I've used it for so long, I would probably do the same. I would use Jigsaw for my DOMs, and I would probably use Sierra for charting, to be honest. But I have everything built out now. I've kind of got a Jigsaw DOM built here, just not the same colours. It's the same sort of structure, isn't it? Very disappointing though that they crack it here by like a tick. Kim, nice, had to ruin the moment, yeah, exactly. And that's it, Rob. You know, the older you get, you realise that patience is important. To be honest, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and money is a byproduct of building technology or being consistent, and it's very important with the people you have around you, man. Whether they give you the positivity or they support you in your endeavours to push everything forward. I believe that for any business. Could be TP, could be. As I said, we've still got all the volume to come in the next like hour and a bit, to be honest. But I don't know. If the market came down here again, right, and it can come down grinding again, I would definitely be a little bit more hesitant to fade, to be honest. Reason being is I just don't like this. You've heard me say this a lot, right? Where, let me just bring this up and I'll show you what I mean. So up here, when we first go up and we do it aggressively, do you notice then we ping back, right? Aggressively into level. Okay, so we did that today. We've already did that at the highs. We did this again at the down here, and then we've did it here where it's kind of pinged right back up, right? This continual grind down is a little bit less appealing, and it also looks like the offer now is extremely weak. I mean, nothing is trading here. Look, 5, 4, 16, 3. The offer has just been pulled. I mean, this is the literal definition. We definitely need to do a video on Delta, guys, because this is really important. I mean, you see that, right? So it's taken all of this selling, right, in general, to get price down here, and then the market has moved up 4 ticks with just no defenders. Look at this here. No defenders here left on these prices. Hey Tony, so good question. I probably, like everyone, started in a way. I first started in, so I'm from the UK. First started in CFDs and spread betting. Right before I actually got into that though, I tried binary options. and obviously gasp, for that, because it's literally, I wouldn't say it's a scam, but it's a lot of nonsense. So swiftly lost money at that. Traded for a couple of years, and then I ultimately always wanted to know what was behind the candles anyway, because coming from a finance background, you want to know which money is spent. They say things in certain markets like X amount of money is spent. Well, how do you know that? And then I gradually then switched more towards order flow, and then of course you need to go to a centralized book in order to see the true order flow that comes into the market. And then made a switch to futures from there. It would be nice to incorporate some sort of spread betting for the tax efficiency side in the UK, but again, you're then in CFD land, and it's hard enough. It's hard enough to beat the market, with futures when there's like no spread, and you're only paying comms, and everyone sees the same book. Whereas in CFDs and stuff, you're basically against your broker. You're never in the market. Yeah, Rob, you're exactly right. I mean, I wouldn't say this exact, so there's always, you're spot on, Rob. There's not been, it's not been as obvious as this. This one has appeared, I think, in the last few weeks specifically. But you're right, they're there to basically confuse the other algorithms at the end of the day. Because as we know, majority of retail doesn't even look at the DOM, So they're there to try and almost, I think it's just a capping range algo is what they're looking to do. But it definitely affects the strength of the book when price moves down, right? But you're right. Ever since COVID's happened, the liquidity on the book has just evaporated, right? They break orders down so much more. There's icebergs don't need to be as big anymore. They can pull orders. I mean, how shocking is it that ES is moving through a price with like 56 contracts and stuff? Shocking. But you're right, it's definitely why it's designed, dude, to make everyone scratch their head and to try and basically take away other people's edge. You're spot on. Bulls have been looking weak all day. Lots of long setups that didn't follow through. Yeah, exactly, James. We were definitely probing lower. I would say that if we do collapse here, we can go lower for sure. But again, the fact that we're in a bell curve balanced day, the most probable outcome for today is just continue the same theme of today and to finish, somewhere in here or something, POC somewhere in this range roughly. Brian, buddy boy, how's it going? Nice of you to join us. So, being new, is there any one thing you would tell me to work on identifying about the DOM before trying, just in general, to learn everything? Learn more absorption, identifying, or pace of the market first? Good question. So, if I was new to order flow, right? First things first, you need to understand the mechanics of the market. You need to understand who moves the market, why they move it. So I would watch the what does it take to be profitable day trading. I would watch that video, dude. It gives you an idea of the competition that you're up against. Why they move the market certain ways, just to get that into your mind, right? Because at the end of the day, this is what you're seeing on this depth of market and ladder is basically a massive game of poker, to be honest. Not so much against retail, but more so against larger firms battling against each other, right? And we as retail traders are there to identify when the big guys are slinging size so that we can come along for the ride. We're all looking to trade the path of least resistance. Okay. So the other thing I would say is you need to also be really familiar with the DOM on just how it works. What does lifting into the offer mean? What does reloading on the bid mean? You know, what happens when offers gets pulled? Really get in tune with the terminology of the depth of market. Sit there and watch it for a month, dude. Don't place any trades. Sit and watch it. Spend like 2-3 hours a day if you can allocate that time, and watch the market. My honest advice is ES is very hard at the moment, so I always say if you're completely new to OrderFlow and you've not been doing it for a while, start on a thicker book. Because a thicker book is easier for us humans on the eyes, right? ES is actually a decent thickness today. I mean, this is a bit as thick as it's getting, to be honest, but you know, it's much easier if it was 300-400 on each price. So once you get the fundamentals and the basics down, dude, then you can then start formulating a playbook, you know. And in my playbook, as an example, I have profile extensions and out of value fades. That is it. That's very simple. And on the day, for example, in Treasuries today, I was thinking the sentiment was, you know, we are more than likely now to be cutting with the current forecasts for September and December. So I was expecting, you know, lower yields and Treasuries to continue up. However, when I came to the market today, the offer was extremely strong. Buyers were basically being absorbed, and we continued pressing into the bid. So I took my bias and threw it out the window. And then I was actually looking to offer all day today. So yeah, that you know, it takes time, mate. This is the thing. It's hard to condense years and years of staring at this and executing. But the first thing is, I would say, is take your time. Spend time looking at the depth of the market, because it's a completely different beast to looking at this shit over here, right? This is just a gauge for the stream. When I'm actually trading, I don't really have this up, to be honest. I just watch, I draw out key levels. You can see I've got my little line things. I draw out the key levels, like last week's point of control, you know, an area of interest, and see how the market is trading for that day, and I'll just look to go for the path of least resistance. Hopefully that makes sense, mate. It's a bit of a word salad to explain it, but hopefully that makes sense, dude. Oh, Tony boy, you did. Nice. Yeah. Bloody heck, you know. Binary options, man. Those were the days. I actually remember it very well, because it was a martingale strategy. It was shockingly bad, dude. Oh, God. Brutal. Oh, God. So green back then. Jeez, oh. Everyone's got to start somewhere, man. That's the thing. And then as soon as you realise how difficult it is, you know, geez, oh, that was over 10 years ago. Hey, Mikey boy. So Treasuries today was good. I was offering, I think, 13.5 and 14s on the 10s pretty early in the session. It went without me. Price then came back. I took it, and then we faffed around before the initial speech. The speech was late, so I ended up only taking a few ticks. But yeah, okay day, mate. I mean, I made 5-6 ticks today, but I had to really fight for them. It just made me a little bit uneasy that Powell was speaking, because that guy can say a sentence and move the market. I don't know if you guys watched that speech, by the way, but he got absolutely grilled. There was really, you know, kind of awkward questions been asked. Quite interesting, actually. So we're seeing NQ going right now. Let's see if we can do something here. Delta is absolutely flat. So interesting, just a point of reference. You know, we can see that Delta is working its way down right now, gradually, but price is not. So we are seeing absorption here on the bid. But in order to get up here, we did see the offer being pulled. So this really, to be honest, is not really having any bias, but I still think that we should probably try and probe this level down here. Hey Neil, so I like a really variety of different music. You know, classic rap like Eminem, for rap side of things. I then like a bit of jazz, classical music, depends on the mood. I then like old bands like ELO and Mike and Mechanic is a good one. They're old ones. And then if we go into sort of 90s ones, some of the dance tunes, and then I like some 41, some of the sort of Green Day. I like a really wide variety, but I would say though that the music nowadays is shit, to be honest. So I really don't keep up with any music anymore. I like Oasis as well. They're a cool band. So I like a variety of them. It just really depends. I watched Coldplay live at Glastonbury. I went to a lot of concerts when I was younger, like a lot. So, you know, I've seen a lot of people live. Cool phase actually. I enjoyed that phase of my life. Right, we are trying here, aren't we? Simply red. Yeah, a bit of EDM, techno, trance as well. Throw that in there. Depends on the mood, depends on the company. I mean, one song as well. I've got a song I like with Slipknot. You know, that type of thing. Wouldn't say I go out my way to listen to it, but you know, Coldplay. If I want to jump off a cliff, I'll listen to Coldplay. You know. Oh, nice. TP. Nice one. Yeah, I've got a wide variety, man. You know, very versatile music. Quite versatile in general, to be honest. Very much like an egg. Right, we are really trying here. Look at the amount of negative delta at these lows, except there's not really any delta coming in. If this thing goes, I no longer would be really fading this, to be honest. It just screams dumpy. You know, every time we're getting closer to the lows, we're pulling away less. Do you see that? So you're looking for us to break, have you, boy? How's it going, dude? Hope you're well, my friend. How's your trading day been? Actually, let's get a sentiment from everyone in the chat. For all of you people, put a 1 if you think we are going to break the lows and close lower. A 2 if you think we're going higher. Could be a nice trap, Mikey boy. Nice, good decision, Avi boy. Okay. On we don't close there. Right, so you guys think we're going to definitely take the lows. Here we go. Here we go. Right, let me re-center. Okay, so watch NQ here, right? NQ is going to be crucial for this going. So we need NQ to get like down here. If NQ reaches these marks up here, this will pull back. So we do not want that. For the continuation at least. Right, as long as NQ can sort of stay around here, you should be okay for this to continue. And if NQ does get down here, we should see this go. Yeah, here we go. One last push, and then we should see some stops triggered down here if we can crack it. The amount of negative delta here as well. Jeez. Right, here we go. If the bid can be pulled, they should really bang it here, to be honest. One last push in NQ for this to go down. Right at the low here. Someone sneeze. Look at the amount of absorption there. 600 absorbed in that one tick. I'm really trying to push this. NQ can push down. It's very important for this move. It's just they just pressed off the offer there. You guys see this how sensitive ES is to the pullbacks in NQ, right? Yeah, Neil, that's the we've given it a name, the cloud algo. You know, it just moves around price. It's just there to distort other algorithms, to be honest. It's not real. It's actually really screwing up the MBO data, to be honest. So you guys see now that NQ's up here, then, you know, we really need this to hold, the offer to stay strong and this to continue down. You know, but if NQ rips, then it plays off. We're now back in the range again. So yeah, so pretty much we know above this 65.5, you know, ES will go up, which we're seeing, right? This is a very great point for the correlations. I should really note that because I've just forgot that the screen moves. The screen moves with that. So it was 65.5, so we saw that, right? Here. This is the problem. They make it look so obvious and snap it back. DV and Avi, I think, said two there. Oh, and Rob. Nicely done. If you thought we're just going straight up higher, nice. Sometimes they make it look really, really obvious, you know? They don't do it. That's typically what they do, isn't it? Trappy, trappy. Hey dudes, this is Sierra Charts. Oh gosh, Neil, that again, dude. DV, NQ's below the initial balance. Yeah, it should be. I mean, NQ's had a bigger correction today, right? Where, you know, this is the daily session. So I've got basically value area here at 79s. But now we're above here with this level. Pardon me. Now the short's no longer on for the break. It's now going to have another attempt. How many times do they want to hit this level? Seriously. No, it's Sarah charts, dude. If you get any questions about what you're seeing, let me know. Do you want me to run through what you're seeing? Okay, here we go. Back below 65.5. So on NQ, can we continue? NQ must be pretty close to moving POC at this rate. Volume super low on New York Stock Exchange today, says James Boy. Yeah, exactly, DV. I think we'll we need to do something, right? It's just amazes me that this is not cracked yet. There's definitely some inventory offloading, that's for sure. Oh, so the green box is where I was expecting stops to be. So before we started doing all this consolidating nonsense at the lows, I was expecting when price was here to go and hit the level aggressively and then snap back, because everyone that's bought in here today will have their stops below this level. And if I was selling from up here in net short and was a large firm, I would be looking to target this level because I can get out of my positions down here, right? This is exactly where I'd be targeting, because in order for me to get out of a couple of thousand contracts, I can do it, you know, roughly in this green box, because this is where everyone that's bought will have their stops down here. And in order for them to get out of their long positions, you know, they essentially need to be covering down there, which gives the liquidity of the people net short to get out, right? Because for every buyer there has to be a seller, and for every seller there has to be a buyer, right? Use quant terminal. I've actually heard quite a few things about being laggy, to be honest, Neil. I don't know if that's... Us, am I pronouncing your name correctly? I'll quickly run through what you're seeing, dude. Alright, and for anyone that's also new to the stream, a quick rundown. So this is a Heikin-Ashi chart, 5 minutes, you know, your typical setup. I have it set for Heikin-Ashi to try and remove some of the noise that typical candlesticks give. I have this broken up into 2 sessions. This is the volume profile for Globex. This is the volume profile for the regular trading hours. Okay, I have initial balance high, initial balance low, the mid, and then I have some inflection points like the overnight high, previous day high, you know, overnight low, things like this, previous day low, previous day open, right? Things of that nature. Okay, then we have market profile that I use for context. Okay, market profile very simply just tells me, are we in value, are we not, are we in balance, you know, are we going to continue that theme, what's to be expected. Okay, then we have the 4 DOMs. Okay, so ES here, this is the S&P. Then we have NQ to the right of ES, which is the Nasdaq. And then we have the RTY here to the right of the NQ, which is the Russell. Then we have at the far right we have the YM, which is the Dow. Okay, and I don't trade. I don't trade NQ, don't trade the Russell, and don't trade the Dow, but I have these up because it's correlations, right? And very typically, as you've seen in this stream, NQ and ES typically work in tandem with each other. NQ is the wild brother, so if NQ is going up, ES is not going to be going down. On a rare occasion, you will see a disparity between them, but normally that will be corrected, to be honest. And for your most painless trades, you need to have all of these moving in tandem with each other, same as treasuries. And if you want to learn how to read the DOM, dude, if you want to go on, there's a playlist in the description of this video. And essentially that shows you how to read the DOM, what it is, what each column is, you know, run through it all. And if you're using a depth of market and you don't have the inside prints, you know, the recent bid and the recent offer, you need to get a new DOM. You know, you need to have some of these at least somewhere on it so you can see what's happening. That's where you go into some YouTubers, and I'm going to be completely blunt and I'm not going to name any names, but a lot of people have DOMs up because they think they look cool, to be completely frank with you. Anyway, I'm rambling. We're at the lows, so let's see if we can crack. A little bit negative delta coming in. We want to see some size happen, but watch the sweep. So let's see if they continue the behavior. When they get it up to 29.5, they should be able to bang this and then create some stops below this level. And then the absolute low of session is down here, you know, down at 26s. And Rob, exactly, dude. Yes, very typically on balanced days, we'll sweep the highs, sweep the lows, end pretty much where it started, to be honest. Happens a lot of the time. This is absolutely shocking price action. Honestly, NQ is now going up, so this doesn't go down. Seriously, how many times are they going to hit this low? Brutal. So how can I expect an area where stops are going to be triggered? I would say common sense, to be honest, experience. I mean, if you've ever taken a long position here, right? What is the most traditional place? If you bought, say you were like, I don't know, every single textbook in the land. If you buy here, right, and you're holding to the moon, right, you're going to have your stop here. So you've just been stopped out. And ultimately, there'll be some more stops below here, people that are stubborn. So very typically, these guys that were net short up here, right, in this sort of range, who are up money, they want to, in theory, be exiting their positions. Because why? The end goal is for this to end in this range imbalance. Because we're in a balanced day. You know, so you just need to have an idea of to where these stops are going to be triggered. That's the theory, but to be honest, the longer we consolidate at this level here, the more the fade is not on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets less and less appealing the more that we faff around at these lows. If you notice the continual trend here, we had a big bounce, you know, big bounce, you know, down here, decent bounce, down here, now it's getting less, you know, then we've had one more, and now we are there again. It's like this is the grind of death that we described yesterday, right? The grind of death. What happens with the grind of death? No fade. I mean, they could, of course, they could just ram it right back up here. They can do whatever the hell they want, but it's just this price action sucks. It's much more appealing if say when this move happened, right? You were targeting it to go down and do it here, right? Down here, that would be a fantastic long to ride it back up. Okay, because as we know, the market goes aggressively into level, it's more than likely to snap back. When it does this and works its way down slowly like this, there's just more absorption been happening on the offer. Thanks, Trader Boy. Yeah, well, you know, if you go to some of the, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but if you go to some of the largest streamers, look at their depth of markets, and you'll see they just have it there because it looks cool. You know, they don't actually look at it. So now your only problem is connection related when first booting of it. Your share chart's really good for reliability. That's the one thing I would say. It's a very reliable software. But TP, you'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised. Honestly, once you get proficient at OrderFlow, you'll be able to spot who talks nonsense and who, you know what I mean. You just gain that with experience. I had someone say the other day that, oh yeah, you could go in and sling 250 contracts on NQ and the market not blink. I'm like, what planet are you on? Seriously, look at the bid and offer on NQ. If you hit 250 contracts, the market would move 20-30 ticks. Bit of an exaggeration, but you know, it would certainly move. Just, you know. So, we're able to decipher what's nonsense and what's not. Can you lovely people, I see there's 30 of you and there's only 15 likes, so there's a bit of a disparity. Can you press the like button for me, please? What's the biggest mistake that I avoided what's the biggest mistake that I avoided being okay? Biggest mistake that I avoided was two things. Strategy hopping, wish I didn't do that. Okay? Be consistent with the strategy is one. Two, learn to control the down days. Okay, stop the boom and bust bullshit. They're the two main things that I would say, okay, that you need to work out is stop strategy hopping and being able to control the down days. Two main things. Because if you can't control the down days, you're not going to be there next week or next month, right? And typically people go to strategy hopping where they try something, they've got 3 losing trades, then they move on to the next holy grail bullshit MACD cross on a YouTube video or something. You know, and the other thing as well, I know I go on about this, but if you're not journaling your stuff, please journal. There's a link in the description. It's free. You can import all your performance in there, and you don't need to be doing Google spreadsheets and stuff. I am shockingly bad at admin. Shocking. And even I can journal. So, there's no excuses. The other 3 things. Journal your shit. Stop strategy hopping. And learn to lose. Right? And very simply, how do you know how much to lose a day? If you make 500 quid a day, right, as an example, you've got no business losing more than 500 quid when you lose, because then you end up setting yourself back. What is very typical with the trading journey is you put up a really big couple of 2 weeks, right, where you're making 500, 500, 500, so on and so forth, you made 2k, and then you have an absolutely shocking day where you're just stubborn, you continually DCA, or you do something, you know, demons that you have in your trading, right, and you end up doing your arson, and you give like 2 weeks profit back in 1 day, you know. So you need to stop that. That's very common in trading. I don't know how many of you guys have that happen. If you've not watched the recent videos that I've done, the journaling one and why day traders are not profitable and what you can do about it, check them out. It'll put you in the right context for that, man. Hopefully that makes sense, dude. TP, maybe he was talking about 250 NQ lots in Sim. That would make sense, dude. That would make sense. Here's Rob, my hype man. Exactly. Press the like button, people. Very good question, Naz. Very good question, my friend. Okay, so I'm a big fan of know the products that you trade, right? What is the ADR over the last 1,000 currencies? Okay, what's the standard deviation move? What is that? Okay, You know, how often do we touch the previous day's VPOC? Your initial balance high and initial balance low are there not to be traded, they're there to give you context for the day, right? So you better believe if market comes to initial balance low, do you think I just buy that? Absolutely fucking not, right? What this tells me is if in this session we did something like this, right? We went down, then we did this. We're all the way below initial balance low, right? And then we do something along this. If we come to the initial balance low and we see tons of absorption on the offer, okay, and buyers cannot crack, I will be looking to continue the trend for the day, right? So I have a rule because I love to fade the world, right? And I had to create rules for myself that if the market is above initial balance high and below initial balance low, right, which is set in the first hour of the day, I need to wind my neck in for fading. Because if I don't do that, I end up just fading everything. You know, as an example, I'm talking about extreme examples here. But you need to create some sort of foundation and rules to give you guidance, you know. But I use it for key inflection points, things like previous day high, previous day low. If we're in a balanced day, they're great points to fade. Overnight high, overnight low, same thing. Okay? But you need to really know the stats in the products you trade. Like I know the stats in the 30 year and the 10 year because I trade them really frequently. I have them marked on my chart when we are 50% of an ADR, and I'm calling that average daily range, just so you're aware, not the average true range, same sort of thing. But I have them there so that I know, for example, that 17% of the time, for example, we go above an ATR and a standard deviation, and only 7% of the time we are below a standard deviation. Okay. So it gives me probability that if we get a standard deviation above ATR, I can start looking to fade because the market only does that 17% of the time. Make sense? These are just rough probabilities I have for the years that I've traded. All these things can provide you just some ammo in your inventory because when you do this day in and day out and you build stats and you build an edge, nothing should really surprise you, to be honest. But here's the thing. People don't even journal, so never mind working out those stats, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Journaling is so important. Good question, no Naz. Trader boy, I'm glad you're in a better frame of mind, dude. Rob, no. I would love to be able to trade Eurex and US, to be honest, but I'm to be honest, I've got like 3-4 hours a day where I'm super focused, and I think my quality of my decisions would be poorer if I trade both markets. Maybe at one point I would switch to Eurex, but I quite like now that I don't need to start till the afternoon as such. Suits my schedule a bit better. Allows me to do a little bit more prep as well. Good, dude. Good redemption. Glad you found the channel. It's a good place. I'm very happy you found it while you're still in sim. Hopefully we can cut down your learning curve so you don't spend many years hitting your head against the wall. It's the objective of this channel. Right, where are we again? We're at this low. I mean, we've hit it so many times. Okay, we're going back up in the range again. NQ's going. Come on. See if we can have a capitulation. Exactly, Tradable. I'm glad you did, dude. Glad you did. Does that actually... Journaling is writing what you observed and what occurred. Doing that actually lets us learn and absorb knowledge. I'm working on getting better at journaling too. It's so hard for me. Dude, I completely agree. So the thing is, right, I have rules where I export my trades in a CSV. I import them into TraderSync. If anyone doesn't have a journal, you can try a free trial. It's a link in the description to it. But I then import them in, okay? I then don't need to do anything. I'll write down in a handwritten diary, just a nothing fancy, a diary, um, where I write my thoughts quickly for that trade. You know, something like fade out of value, looking to offer 14s, you know, extension of profile or something, whatever, right? I'll write that down. Then I'll tag that as a setup when it goes into my journal, and then I'll make an overall note for how I traded that day, what my thoughts were, was my, you know, pre-market sentiment in line, you know, did the Fed change their sentiment, you know, that type of thing, right? That's it. And then I review my trades for the day, look over them, and then I do that every week, and then I do a month, and then I do a quarter review, and I see how my performance was, and then compared it to the last. But honestly, the chances of me taking, you know, say I take 5 trades, if I've got Google Sheets or Excel and I'm writing that down, there is no danger I'm ever going into Google Sheets and writing open price, close price, position, size, exit, setup, max adverse excursion, max favorable. Absolutely no chance. We're dumping right now. Well, I'm ranting. But these journaling softwares are there to make your life easier, and they're not expensive. They're like, I don't know, $40 a month or something. You know, it's the best money you'll ever spend in your journaling, in your trading. You need a good platform, and you need a journal. You know, this has been so lackluster, even the break. But do you notice now that this is not fade anymore. Even the lows is this continual grind. You know, not ideal. The war begins. It sure does. Hopefully that makes sense, dude. Good question, Neil. So I trade from about 7 a.m. US time till 1 p.m. latest. Yeah, to 1 p.m. latest, to be honest. And then my hard stop is 5 ticks. But I'll typically manage my average stop that I take is 4. I always have a hard stop at 5, but I'll look to manage around that. My average stop that I take is 4, and then sometimes it depends on the trade. If I go for it, you know, sometimes I take 9 and 10 ticks, which is a home run trade on treasuries. Other times I'll maybe get the full 4. But sometimes if it doesn't work in my favour, I'll take a tick. Sometimes I'll scratch. But to be honest, I don't really take the full 4 a lot of the time. It just really depends, to be honest with you. Treasuries, you can be extremely selective, and because the tick to commission ratio is so good, you only need a couple of ticks. When you're hitting some size in the 10s or 30s, you know, and you make 5 ticks in a day, if you're doing, you know, 5 to 10 contracts on that, it's good going, you know. Or you're copy trading, or whatever which way you want to do it in the proper world, you know, whatever which way. If you take one and you're copying across accounts, whatever which way you want to do it. A good question, Neil. Okay, let's see. This is really Weird price action here. Delta is making lows, but price is not really doing too much. This price action sucks. Really does. We have 25 minutes till the volume comes in. Did someone just score in the Euro game? Is anyone watching it? Let me see. The Spain against France game. Oh, it's 2-1 to Spain. Or is it? No, it's... They just scored. Spain just scored again. Rob. Yeah, exactly. ES is a hard trade these days, mate. It's not very simple. The pool, you know, for example, we can see here there's a little bit of buying coming in, right? But they can just pull the offer here. You know, they just pull it and nothing can really trade, and there's no way of you knowing that. So, as I said, it's been a much harder trade since the liquidity's evaporated, you know. But I would say it definitely sweeps more. That's the thing. The hardest thing I find with ES is how much they're going to bang it through a level, and then you need spot absorption to then write it back in, because ES balances like 80% of the time. So this type of stuff where, you know, it sweeps high and lows of the day and stuff is very common, but with the amount of setups you'll see, this one is weird, where you know, we discuss the sweeps every day, right? And this one is weird, man. This is the grind of death. This could very easily just go back up here, but for the amount of times I've watched markets, it makes me a little bit uncomfortable that we're seeing this grind of death. So I personally would just not even trade this, to be honest. This one. We'll see what happens with the volume that comes in to see. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What's the bidding offer on Eurostocks? Is that like 400 bidding offer? If that's the case, that's what you should be trading. Yeah, is someone got the data for that to check quickly? In fact, Rob, can you check what's the bidding offer on Eurostocks, for example? I know it's actually closed there, but what's the general bidding offer there? Is it 400 bids? It's much thicker than ES, right? Let me know if you guys get any other questions. Oh, that's more like it, dude. God, 600 in the bidding offer, nice. Even 4, I mean 4 is where it's at. That's what ES was like years ago. It was like, wow, see that would make me want to trade that market. Like that gets my juices flowing. 400 in the bid and offer on an index. That's more like it, you know. That's exciting to me, which is pretty sad. Wow, yeah. So I tell you, Rob, I think I maybe need to at some point dabble in that Urex for that, dude. If that's what it is, that's so much easier to read. It's basically like UB, for example. Same as on the bid and offer there, or TN or something. Something like that, man. Honestly, what you said as well earlier today, I was in fits of laughter. You said, "I'm lost in the Scottish woodlands." Oh, that was funny, dude. I liked that. Give me a chuckle. Right, let's see if we can break these lows. Come on. Someone get the stick and poke yes. It's like watching paint dry. Look at the amount of negative delta at 29 and a half. 1,300 contracts. There's so much selling going on here, and the market's not going down. It's crazy. Yeah, oh, exactly. I think that would probably be the index I would trade, and then probably just I like treasuries, but if I was trading Eurex, then I might as well just trade the Bund as well. To be honest, while I'm at it, but then I need to completely switch my schedule, so it just depends. See how it goes. But that's appealing to me, not ES, where it's like this is pretty thick for ES, by the way. Um, this is relatively thick this day. Normally, like 5 and 6 ticks away from price, you're like 650, 60 bid and offered and stuff. It's meh. Yeah, and I personally find that Edge for order flow is easier in a thicker book, in my opinion. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion, but it's my experience in it, to be honest with you guys. So wait and see if we can crack at the lows here. I mean, this is definition of grind to death right now. It's mainly why I've switched the treasuries as the main vehicle and then a trade ES on occasion, but I'm not here. Majority of people when they start trading, they start in NQ, which is actually the opposite. I think the more experienced you are, you should maybe move down to the thinner books. Um, typically people do it the wrong way around. You should start on thicker products and go down. Put it this way: if I owned a prop desk, right, and I had traders there and a risk manager in place, no one would be touching NQ at all. Maybe I would have a specialist in oil if they had done something along those lines, but I would mainly be having them on much thicker products. A, because we can control the risk more, and B, it's easier to read. And on thicker books, you don't the market doesn't just do this. I mean, look at ES. It's an absolute shambles. 40 contracts, 47 contracts, and 90 contracts to move 3 ticks to lift into the offer. I mean, seriously. The market sweeps a price with 41 contracts here. Well, at least here they did 137. It's at least something. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're trading in the 10 year, you can sling 50 lots and not even be noticed. Seriously. On the 10s. You would literally be a dot. If you trade 50 on NQ, you're actually going to be moving that thing, right? And also as well, um, treasuries treasuries is, in my opinion, I never will hit the bid or lift the offer at market. I just don't do it. I always enter at limit so I can get the best price. If you time it well, you'll very you'll find that if you're timing it correctly and you're reading inside prints and your bias is correct, that you can get it where you're timing it right to the tick. To be honest, some of my best trades where I'm taking no drawdown or one tick of drawdown, you know, you can't do that in any other. You're certainly not doing that in ES. Oh, I mean, you're just not doing it regularly. That's the thing. You know, treasuries. That's a pretty standard. I start to get concerned if I'm three ticks offside in treasuries. You know what I mean? Like I normally know I'm off. I'm not normally. If I'm in a good trade, I'm not three ticks offside in treasuries. I'm normally starting to look to scratch as soon as I'm three ticks. Because normally if I get in, I get filled at limit, and then I'll need to take the next two prices. Do you know what I mean? Um, that either means some size has been happening and the whole market's ticked up. It's a completely different product, completely different beast. You know, the each products you trade, they're very much like women. Do you know what I mean? Different personalities, you know, different setup. You need to get to know them. Some are wild, some are not so much. That's the scalper and the leverage. Yes. I've been trading DOM and not using charts, but I feel like I need them for broader context. Yeah, I wouldn't say you need to completely remove the charts, but use them to give you an idea what's happening. Because at the end of the day, some people, their brain works by looking at candlestick charts. At the end of the day, the depth of market is there as the final jigsaw piece. The Dow is ripping, by the way. Interesting. The DOM is the final piece of the puzzle for you to basically give you better entries, better exits, and to define your trade plan. So, as an example, if you're looking to buy a support level, as an example, and price comes into that support level, and you see that the bid has been pulled, right, and Delta is extremely aggressively hitting into the bid, well, you're not going to buy it, are you? Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're just using typical candlestick charts, you're most likely then you don't know the difference, so you just buy it and then you lose. You know, that's probably the first part of becoming a critical thinker and understanding order flow. That why do some support and resistance levels hold and why do some do not? And the answer is order flow. And once you get proficient at it, you're able to know which ones are going to have a higher probability that they're going to hold rather than breaking. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to have a better edge here that gives you a higher probability than a coin flip. And you just play that out over time. You know? I know I'm really simplifying it here, but it doesn't need to be complicated. The methodology and the way that you look at things needs to be simple. Oh, Rob, I'm looking forward to check that, dude. Redemption, I'm not too sure what I said, if it was a pun. I'm not too sure what I said, dude. Yeah, so this is the thing, we are looking like now we're going to go back into value, but it could have very easily broken. The offer's been pulled because there's no buying that's come in as well. See, this is the trouble, you know. Not really any buy-ins come in yet. We're up like 10, 12 ticks from the low. And we did see a lot of absorption down here, but this one wasn't as clear cut in my mind. I wouldn't have faded that. Um, I prefer it when it, as we know, it hits it hard and then you can hit it back up, you know. Let me know if you guys are getting any other questions. I know a lot of you lovely people already support us, which I'm very grateful for. But here's the link if anyone wants to show some extra support for the channel. If you've not yet joined the Discord, there's a link in the bio of the channel where you can join the Discord. And I need some coffee for my Barista Pro. Fantastic coffee machine, by the way. If you guys love your coffee, definitely worth the investment. Seriously, fantastic piece of kit. Hey, what's your thoughts on just finishing here? We'll see. There's not really been many talking points. It's been very grindy, offer pulled. You know, look at all this selling it's taken, right, to get the market down here, and now we are all the way up here with this amount of buying. So as we discussed, basically just the offer is just dissipating. It's a Barista Pro. It's an espresso Barista Pro. Very, very good coffee machine. You can do everything that you like. It's basically, I don't know if you go to any of the coffee joints like Starbucks and Costa and stuff, but you won't be going to them again if you get one of those. Now approaching the value area low on NQ. See if we can reclaim it. Oh yes, Trader Boy, popcorn, juice and snacks out. Some chip and dip. Six minutes till we see what they have in store. I'd like to see them fill this out, you know? I'd like to see them go down here, fill this out, take the stops, and then bang it back up. That would be the most probable. And then the least probable that we think is going to be something of this nature. I mean, this is like, you know, final play, quarterback, Hail Mary stuff, you know, here. Somehow got up here, fade that. Because that's so far away, we maybe see it here as well. Somewhere here, and basically fade it back in there, down to POC. But most probable is down here, continue breaking the lows, or sweep and go up. So that's our options. Well, so let's see what to do. So potentially pulling it higher there to get some more absorption of the offer. A little bit higher, sell a little bit higher to push down. This looks super weak though, doesn't it? Did anyone watch the Powell speech today actually? The Powell speech, that he got absolutely grilled, to be honest. Or if anyone watched it. I watched part of it. It was quite hard to watch, actually. Beer or coffee? Depends. Depends, Rob. I think for beer wise, I would probably go for I like a startup ramen. I prefer a premium beer or a Guinness. Coffee, I like a good coffee, mate. Saying that, like a difference. If I'm out and about, I'll probably have a latte. Just if I don't know the coffee. If I know the coffee, it's really good. I'll take a lungo or an espresso. Who will go to, man? So if you guys are enjoying the stream, sadly there's not really that much order flow talking points today because the price action is garbage, to be honest. A little bit more delta coming in now in the buy side. Let's see if they're going to absorb it. We have 1 minute to popcorn. Everyone grab it. Let's see what to do. So we should see a little injection come in 40 seconds. Are we going to go back up and test 38s at POC? Or are we going to continue lower? Let's see what we do. Neil, it was live on YouTube, the Powell testimony thing as well. Sometimes you can get it on news wires as well. I typically, for more important things, just have wires running for the day, just to give me a... Not that I'm paying attention to really everything, I'm doing it because I always want to see if the sentiment changes. And a really good thing is if you watch the CME tool for the rate probability cut, it lets you know it updates daily. And in essence, if a higher probability rate cut is expected at the next meeting, if that, as soon as that percentage increases, in terms of what the favour is, if it increases or decreases, it will basically have a lasting effect on the market, in essence. So if we have a 15% increase in a rate cut, that's essentially going to have a lasting effect on the dollar, on indices, and in treasuries. Indices prefer, well, typically prefer lower interest rates. The dollar prefers higher interest rates. And then whenever interest rates are cut, treasuries go bid. Because yields go down. Yields move inverse to treasuries. Just depends. Even the injection is a chop fest. Oh yes, the black nectar, Robbie boy. Exactly. Nice Guinness. A little spoof on NQ. I know, I mean, we're seeing a lot of buying come in right now, see if we can absorb it. If we do absorb it, then I would like to see us probe lower. Because then, you know, the bid gets pulled and we see some aggressive selling come in, we'll potentially be down here. Everything is looking like it at the moment. So the last thing you want to see for long right now is aggressive buying, the market, you know, not following Delta, and this type of behaviour at the lows. It's almost like one last ditch attempt and some more absorbing on the offer before we go down. But we'll wait and see. Realistically, in the next 7 minutes, the market can go either way, to be honest, depending on what the MOC data is. So we shall see if any excitement happens. Are you guys in any trades? Are you just still watching? Does anyone get any open positions at the moment? Avi, how did you do? Were you long, Avi? If you're still here, dude. I think Avi and DV were looking for the market to go higher. Did you guys take that position and take any of that little mini bid up, or did you get stopped out down here? Are you still in? Nice one, Neil. Stopped at 33s. Were you long, Avi? Or were you short to continue the lows? Or after? Yeah, no, exactly, Neil. I mean, to be honest with you, sometimes the market on close gives really good trades, but other times it's shit. You know, I think, to be honest, if you've not made your money by now, here we go. Here we go. Some size came in. Let's see if the bid can give way here. The most boring option is if we just head the VWAP, because then we're just going to finish around the point of control. We're short looking for 30s to break, yeah. Here we go, moment of truth. Here we go, NQ's going right below value. Let's see if it needs to break below value here in NQ. Needs to break below 69s. Here we go. Yep. Here it is. Can we do it? Buyers are still absorbing at 29s. 500 contracts absorbed. Four minutes till it happens. Let's see if they... I don't want them to pull it back into 32s. That would make it relatively unexciting. AAP, so market profile just gives me an idea of context for the day. I don't do any of the, poor high repair midpoint stuff. I just use it for context. I like to view the market in a market profile sense. I'll maybe pay attention to single prints as well. But that's about it, dude. I don't take any initial trades. Everything, my trade thesis and my playbook for that session, I have an idea, and then it ultimately needs to be confirmed with confluence on the depth of market. I don't take anything in itself, and I need to understand what the daily context is. Is a shocking price action. The amount of delta that's coming in here as well on the buy side. Nice one, Rob. Nice relaxing day, dude. That's the way to do it. Yeah, I'm typically 6 o'clock, absolute latest my time. Normally 5. I'm done for then. I should have already made my money by 2, 3 o'clock, to be honest. Just after bond open in Treasury. I've got no business trading this time. Also, I'm tired and just never going to make the same... Just not going to make the same quality decisions as I would be able to at 1:30 my time. Nicely done, trader boy. That's not a bad thing, dude. Not a bad thing at all. It's 5, 6. You're looking for 25s. Yeah, you would think so, man. So the next minute is going to decide that. Look at the amount of buying that's come in. We're not really moving right now, so look at this. The amount of buying, it's happening, it's been absorbed. Here we go. Very concerning for buyers that look at this amount of buying that's happening and it's not doing anything. So we want to see them hit it. They need to crack 29, sorry. 29 has been the level. If they can crack this, we should go. You need to crack 29s. Buyers are really, really holding that. Thou shall not pass. Yeah. This is the thing. If these market making firms are not wanting that to break, it's not going to break. They've just absorbed tons of contracts down at this level. There's negative 2k delta. For more than that, jeez, 3,500 negative delta in those 3 ticks. And look at the amount of buying that's coming in now. Jeez, wow. I think we should discuss these points in the next Delta video. This is a fantastic example. This has been the guts of 6k Delta in this candle, and the market is flat. Yeah, 29s exactly. So sellers are now starting to come in a little bit, but the bids looks to be absorbing at the moment as well. mean, if this can't go up with that amount of delta, then buyers have got no chance. But we've got 3-4 minutes left, and it just looks like POC's just moved down here as well for the regular trading hours. So we're not going to crack now. Well, that's disappointing, isn't it? Look at that for a boring market on close. This is why you shouldn't really trade it, because the majority of the time, some days you get those outliers, which we've covered on stream, you guys will remember them, where they were excellent. And then you get days like this. I mean, we have, in essence, what, 3 minutes to this to crack the lows and sweep? I can't see it happening. Yes, Neil, on occasion. Lamest close I've had in a while, exactly. Living under range in ES. Yeah, Avi, honestly. I mean, look at this. This is shocking. This. Terrible. This is probably the worst one we've had in a while, guys. Well, worst one we've had in a while. You heard the sound, nice one. Yeah. Bad habit, dude. Yeah, you need to fill scalper. You need to fill out a form if you want to jump in. Not really been streaming per se. We've just been catching up on. I mean, majority of people trade ES and I trade treasuries, so we're just sort of chatting about, you know, hey, we've seen this in the offer, seeing this on the bid, so on and so forth. But it's kind of hard because you think about it. You're looking at your own screens and you're streaming. You know, it's kind of hard, but we've got that running to get everyone more engaged and stuff. So if you want to join, feel free to fill out the form and stuff. But yeah, streamed and as a voice chat as well, did. Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, guys. I mean, NQ is trying, but I can't see it's going lower now. That's the move happened. Swing back into 32s now. It's not as harsh as smoking. That's for sure. If you're not obviously not smoked, then don't don't vape. Slightly easier. I'd rather do none of it, but it's better. Sadly, one of life's vices. Yeah, exactly. So much absorption in the offer as well, to be honest. If they continue this theme, when this drops, this thing is gonna capitulate, to be honest. If they continue this amount of absorption in the offer, tomorrow could be a rough day. Yeah, no, I don't believe in any of that stuff, dude. I don't believe in any of that. I like to at least have my wits about me at all times. You know, the older you get, you know, you get the older you get better satisfaction out of other stuff. You know, you don't certainly need, so you need that. Life is about good company. You know, maybe a beer or whatever to if you're into that. But if you don't have any vices, then certainly don't start. Pretty sure everyone can agree with that. Keep yourself level-headed at all times, huh? The way to do it. Okie dokie, guys. Well, I am probably going to call it there as well. Let me know if you get any other questions. I'm probably going to watch the second half of the Spain and France game. Yeah, no problem, Neil. See you tomorrow, dude. See you tomorrow, dude. They'll be on probably rough at the same time. Hopefully everyone has a good session. I think the calendar's relatively light tomorrow, and then we have CPI. I need to double check what data points are out tomorrow. And see, but obviously everyone's waiting for the CPI prints this week. Thanks, Trader Boy. No problem. No problem, Rob. Much appreciated as always, dude. Hope you guys have a fantastic evening. We will catch up tomorrow. Hope everyone stays green. And, you know, let's continue on. If you've not yet joined the Discord, there's a link in the bio of the channel where we can all hang out. No problem. No problem. You guys have a great evening and take care, okay?